That's where we're at. Yeah. We...
Okay. Aha! Okay, we have audio. So close. We were so close to starting without any... Like, so close. Okay, it was only a minute. We're good. We're good. We're good.
Okay.
So, yes.
So,
Continue. Or start over if you don't mind.
okay, starting over.
Recap.
Going through it quickly. The party regrouped after the hag fight. The merchant, spice dealer / information broker we met on the road survived the inside-out murderer's attentions during the night, and we brought him to Trithaben, who's on high alert following some more of the inside-out murderer's shenanigans within the city. After letting us through, we were able to get Darius to a house of healing, as directed to us by the guards, and decided to spend our evening at the Gilded Rose, relaxing after some intense action for the last 2 days. This did not go as planned. Midway through our shenanigans at the inn, we are interrupted by two rather powerful people searching for Doraad, and only by luck and happenstance of him being invisible at the time that they barged through the door, they could not find him and left.
That's pretty much it. Very nice and succinct. Appreciated. And we're gonna... Oh, yes, go ahead.
The wording that you were asking for is in my private channel.
I did see that. Thank you very much. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Yep. No problem.
I was literally just about to type thanks. Okay. So let's pick up right where we left off with everyone in the ruined tavern. The party, anyways. Once shit started going down, a lot of the other patrons decided to just GTFO. And as such, it's really just you guys in this tavern now. And there are tables that are knocked over. There's a hole cut through the building and also the building next door. And you are all now just standing in the wake of what just happened.
Naughty is also tripping balls.
Naughty is also tripping balls. And also, the very last thing that we went over was two things. One, that Luca recognized something about the user, the big sword person, and also has their weapon now. And Kensu was the only one who noticed that when they disappeared, it was as if they rewound time to leave rather than just like teleporting or anything like that. It is also now daytime, even though it's the middle of the night, supposedly. So, what do you all do?
What should I name this weapon that I've acquired, Zeke?
That is a great question. For now, you can...
Ralph.
Until you identify and learn its name, you can just call it Curved Greatsword for now, just to keep it simple.
Early.
How much damage does it do again?
It does 2d12 on its main attack or 2d4 on its bonus action attack. Just like the special scimitar weapon. I can't remember its name at the moment.
Double-edged scimitar?
Yeah.
Or double-bladed scimitar?
Something. Double something scimitar. Excellent. Doraad, are you still invisible?
No,
No. Okay.
no, no. If it's just us now, Doraad's no longer invisible.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mind telling
I
us
don't.
who those guys were?
Kinsu, if I knew, I would tell you. I don't know them, but they know me.
Insight, insight.
I saw that coming from a
Inside.
mile away.
Hold on. Hold on. I mean, to GM, do I don't know them. I
Nope.
don't know who those guys are. I'm
Well,
not, I
Kinsey
mean, I
doesn't
have
know
no,
that you don't know.
You
I,
know,
that's,
out of character, you have no idea who they are.
no. I mean, I'm not, did you want me to roll deception against you? I'm not lying to you. I'll
No.
roll persuasion. It's 12. I mean, I don't know them. If I did, I would probably tell you. Well, it's a lie. I probably wouldn't tell you if I did, but I don't know them.
Speaking in
Doraad
circles.
is,
That's just like the rod.
hmm, Doraad is visibly shaken. Like he pays good money to the Red Street barbers so that nobody knows his last name. He has been paying this money since his uprising because it's part of, you know, nobody needs to know who he is, right? And for some dude to come in here and just shout it, like
And what was the
that's
last name
very out
again?
of.
Shorn.
Shorn. Like you got your head shaved. You're shorn.
Yes.
Yeah, or like
But
sheer or like shorn fabric.
do we in game know that you paid to have your real identity buried?
I don't think
We
so.
can
Probably
all we
not.
know is that you're shaken.
I mean, no, I know, not in game because I mean maybe you would assume that it's a secret because you wouldn't have known it until now because I wouldn't have told you, Kensu, ever.
I mean, you're pretty
So
well known in the city. Are you known as just Doraad, or do you have a fake last name?
Everyone
nope,
knows
no
Doraad
last
as
name.
Doraad.
The rod
Shit.
is just a rod. There is no name. Yep. So that's a big deal for him. And he, in this moment, would not be trying to hide it, but he would be minimizing it. You know,
Right, right.
uh,
Do
I
you know what they were after besides you?
Here's probably not a safe place to discuss any of this. Let's continue this
no,
somewhere.
I have a small apartment in the city. We can make our way there, and it'll be tight, but there's enough room. There's food and water. We'll be all right. It should be safe. And then I'll lead them the party. I'll lead the party to my safe house here in Trithaban.
This
Excellent.
whole time, Nadia's just been standing, staring at the doorway, just completely bug-eyed.
Oh God.
Luca gets a growler to go.
let me
As
see if I can
Swaying
do that.
slightly.
If we just kind of grab your hand and guide you, will you walk with us, or are you gonna
I think
fight?
if Doraad grabs Nadia's hand, she looks at him and she goes, "How did you get here?"
Oh, well, I didn't leave, dear. I've always been here.
Do you take the
Um,
great?
no, I didn't take it yet.
Wh-
Although probably later, and then I'll guide you.
perfect. As you all begin to move through the town, you can see people coming outside in droves, looking up, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. People are waking up in their pajamas and looking up at the noonday sky. And all you can hear is just confusion. No one even gives you a second glance. There's not a single eye that isn't just trained to the sky right
Like, oh man. Good.
Does it look like daytime as far as the eye can see?
You're
Or
looking
does it look
around.
like perhaps daytime is just localized around this city?
While you're in the city, you can't answer that question because you're. If it is localized, and I'm not saying it is or that it isn't, but if it is, you're in it, so you wouldn't know unless you go outside to look.
Okay.
So for now, all you can see is that it's just daylight.
Okay. So, and theoretically, we don't know if it went forwards or backwards.
You do not.
Okay. Okay.
I
Sorry.
would. I would allow. I would allow a history check. Though you guys were indoors and you really only saw the light through the doorway that they exited from. So I'll say with disadvantage, anyone who wants to can make a history check to see if they remember the sun rising or setting. Because that would determine forward or backwards.
Well, this will be hilarious.
Okay.
It's a nat one.
All right,
That's where we're walking.
so far that's 12, 6, 3, 12.
Could it also be a survival check,
You know what? I will absolutely allow that, yeah. I will
but still with
absolutely allow that.
disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that better.
All right. And then our is Thane gonna roll?
Thane dead.
Yeah, he just did.
Wait, am I missing? Hold on. Oh, okay. Okay. So Thane, with the only one beating a DC of 15 with your roll of 16, you managed to catch just enough of a glimpse to determine that time went forward until the next noon.
Great. Okay.
Doraad.
So are we in Doraad's house now?
Yeah,
We've made our way to Doraad's house.
as you as you continue to follow Doraad, and none of you notice anyone even paying you a second mind as they're all just staring up into the sky. You find a house that is just unassuming enough to blend in as just a normal residence in a stack of many others just like it. And imperceptible to most is a small mark that reminds Doraad that this is indeed the Safehouse. And Doraad, do you have a special way that you have to enter? Do you have any like security measures on your Safehouse that prevent just anyone from walking in?
Oh, yes, of course. The door is very much just unlocked, but when you walk in, Doraad has where his whatever arcane lock and spell and alarm and trigger and probably elaborate system he has using the weave the fabric before he goes in, he pulls out his glove and he puts his glove on, his little half glove, and then opens the door, and there's just a little spot where he just sits there and he charges up his Eldritch Blast to just a hair, and as it does, it just kind of it like circuitry, like all the little
Right.
fabric lines light up over the thing, and then it just kind of just all shuts off and goes
Nice.
away, and then he opens that, and it's all disarmed.
Beautiful. On the inside, this safe house. Why don't you describe some of the what does the party see when they go inside? What's in here?
It's a smallish little 2-bedroom kind of apartment. Your main entrance is into the front little sitting room. There's just a few small bookshelves with books and notes and stuff. It's rather dusty. Doraad hadn't been here in a while. Few chairs in the sitting room, fully stocked for necessities reasons, whatever necessities are. A kitchen to prepare, and then a guest room and Doraad's master room. And yeah, it's very simple. It's very simple. There's nothing elegant about this. It's very efficiency or function over form here,
Right,
except for
right.
the one good sitting chair, which is probably Doraad's chair. And then no one's gonna see what's in Doraad's room. So
Great.
Does the safe house also have a Jeremy?
no, there's no Jeremy in the safe house. Everything's a little dusty and decrepit a bit. Like you said, he hasn't been here in a while. He didn't even plan on going here while we were here, you know. But there's supplies, necessity supplies as far as food and water is concerned.
All right.
Excellent. Now that you're all inside and the door shuts, you are all well trained enough and powerful enough of individuals to recognize a lot of things. As I mentioned, it's not very common for someone to be at your guys' level in this world. Most people are unwoven, meaning that they aren't able to channel those energies we talked about in session 1. And as such, you are all very sensitive to different energies and different feelings of effects in the world around you and in the way that the weave flows through you. And as such, when the door shuts, you all feel this wave of a feeling of safety and separation that you normally don't feel whenever you just shut a door. This place feels safe.
Is that the same kind of similar feeling as the one in my back office during the thing with the thing? Or is that a different feeling?
I have to be careful how I answer this. For the sake of everyone that's not you. For the sake of everyone that's not you, I have to be very careful how I answer.
It's the thing it's the thing in the thing.
This feels like the kind of safety that you paid for. I will say that.
Got it. Cool. All right, just making sure it's what I'm used to. All right, cool.
Put me on the spot there. No, you're good. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing.
Everyone, make yourselves at home. It's the guest room is there. There's some food. Eat whatever. Is it still daytime? I'm gonna go take a nap. I will see you all in the morning. And Doraad will quickly try to just shuttle his way off into his room to avoid any kind.
Didn't we come to the safe house to talk about shenanigans?
We're talking. I thought. Yeah, Kensu. All right.
Broad daylight. Don't be taking naps.
I need my beauty sleep, Kensu.
Well,
okay.
I'm not going to argue with you on that one.
What happened to the music?
The music, darling. How are you? How long has it been? How tripped are you still?
Nadia took it about like 20 minutes before everything started. Shit hit the fan. She is.
It's been like an hour.
Maybe it's been an hour.
Yeah. Again, you don't know what the fuck she took.
This is true. I don't
even know if she knows what the fuck she took. She just in her pocket keeps kind of like it's like trail mix, but all pills.
Are
like
you still
mushrooms.
eating stuff out of your fucking pocket? Or are you
That's
done
where she
eating
keeps her
stuff out?
drugs.
I'm just making sure you're not treating it like trail mix while you're high. That would be bad.
No, she's pretty experienced when it comes to drugs. She knows etiquette.
That's actually very important in the world of drugs.
Yeah, no. She's
um,
Beautiful.
we'll set you down. Thing, I don't.
I don't see a man cut a building in half.
Yeah, that's what we need to talk about.
Oh, that happened.
That happened.
Yes, it happened.
Damn, I thought just got lucky with what I took.
Rod,
Okay.
you hired me to protect you.
Yes,
I
I
would
did.
have I would have charged you considerably more if I knew that you were in a disagreement with demigods.
Demigods. Do you know who those people were?
No, but I've hunted their kind before.
Demigods. Well, then it seems you should be fit for the job. And you should get a pay raise. But tell
Oh,
me more. Tell me more about the demigods. How do you know?
I can feel their energy. Their weave, I think you call it. Their life force. They are strong. Stronger than any of us. You can compliment me by saying I'm more than capable, but one solid hit and one of those creatures could have destroyed me. Switching back to common to give it so Thane can understand. Luca would say, greater life force means greater strength. Those are not the strongest beings I've seen, but close.
God.
Those are the strongest beings you've seen.
Much
Yes, I
bigger.
is. It's a good question, Nadia.
If I may,
Mr. Rod kind of leans in to try and kind of point the direction into Lucius. Get out of this.
What what were you gonna say, Zeke?
you felt the one whose sword you took. The other one, you did not feel a thing. Just to clarify. Continue. Sorry.
So I'm concerned that that makes at least two of you that are being hunted now. And for one, for sure, is Doraad. But one of either the two of you, pointing at Nadia and Luca, is probably being hunted as well. And I had my suspicions before we got here,
Why do you think that?
considering we've been attacked 3 times since I've known the 4 of you. And I've traveled on this road that took us directly through this town, free of incident. But since I've met the 4 of you, I've had 3 of them in the span of a week.
Well, maybe they were following you, and now you're heading right back into them.
Yeah, maybe this is a you thing.
I've been on the road by myself for 3 weeks at least, if not longer. So any chance to come and get me would have had ample opportunities beforehand.
Maybe they were just waiting.
You
The
do make
attack
good points.
in Dendris is probably a coincidence, but the other 2 I don't think are. And especially tonight, they called out you specifically. So Doraad and somebody else in this group is being hunted. And they almost
may-
got you, Doraad.
Hunted.
he might have a point. The the hag seemed to know Nadia.
I didn't know her.
No, but she seemed to know you, and
Whatever.
there
What
might have been
she
a
told me.
connection between Luca and that hag. I believe right before the hag attack, Luca woke up from a dream sweating. Um, I'm not saying it's anybody's fault, except for Doraad, but um,
Kenzu.
um,
Doraad's pouring himself 3 fingers of whiskey over there.
the fact that none of us seemed to be hunted until we gathered together for the same mission, and as Thane said, we've encountered threats to at least 2 of us, if not more, begs a little bit further investigation. I can't say that all of the forces targeting each of our members is working toward a similar cause, but maybe whoever's behind the mission that brought us together is trying to find ways to slow us down. I don't know.
Tell you what, Kensu, if I had an enemy for every time I woke up from a dream sweating, I'd have um um anyways, I don't know if it's anything.
I maybe it is all in our heads. I don't know, but it's not a point that should be ignored.
There's not room in my head for anything else right now.
That's okay. I mean I mean no disrespect to Rod, but your dealings. I mean, this could just be all coincidence. These two, but I don't think this has anything to do with suits. I don't think you involve demigods to take out frustrations about a poorly made suit or, you know.
Mm-hmm. No, if Kenzu, if they know who I am, they're beyond my evasion. And if they're beyond my evasion, standing in front of everyone as I already do, then I'm afraid of them. And I tell you that honestly, Kenzu. I don't know who they are. Luca, do you still have that sword? Might I look at it?
Luca has the sword in her hand. She's kind of like waving it around a little bit, maybe a little too close to Doraad's liquor cabinet to be comfortable.
Oh, not the good stuff. That's the vintage.
Um,
Over there.
But Luca attempts to toss the sword and catch it by the top of the blade that isn't sharp and hand it to Doraad.
Why don't you give me a performance check?
Isn't it two-handed?
It is a two-handed weapon, yeah.
You're gonna try to just like
That's yep.
Oh, sorry, I have disadvantage on. Uyakasha.
Ooh. You managed to catch it, and from everyone else's perspective besides yours, it was very well done. But as soon as you catch it, you realize that the balance of this is really, really different than what you're used to, and you almost just took your hand off, but you are putting on a brave face. And everyone else just sees, yes! Oh, man.
Everybody else doesn't notice the way that Luca's like non-weight bearing foot like lifts off the ground as she tries to counterbalance this massive ass sword.
oh shit. Doraad will reach forward and quickly take that Just set it down on a surface, and then I'm gonna boop it. I'm gonna magic boop it to see if I
Ooh.
can.
You succeed.
I succeed.
Yeah. And there is only one. If you look at how your thing works, there's only one way it just auto succeeds without a roll.
That's what I'm looking at. I was trying to find it. Not on my character sheet, right? Is it on bio and info?
Yeah, I think it's on that second tab.
Oh, it's on bio. There it is.
Yeah.
Let me look. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, there's two options there, but that's fine. Hmm. Hmm. Does it change at all physically once I boop it?
The grip, which you didn't really pay much attention to at first, now looks more normal, and only after seeing the change do you recognize that there was some kind of effect that was making it much easier to hold on to. And that was it. That's all you notice is the difference in the grip.
Okay. Is that sorry, does that have a did we discuss if that has a time limit on it or if I can dispel that boob?
It lasts for 1 minute or until you lose concentration as if concentrating on a spell. Or
All right,
if you
so I
end
can
it, no
drop.
action required. Yeah.
So I can drop. All right, so then I will hand it, pick it up by the blade very gently, and hand it hilt first back to Luca as I drop concentration, so she can see that I don't know what it does, but here you go. It does this thing. It's a very fine weapon, Luca. I believe it will be very easy for you to hit things with that if you so use it.
It's awkward, not as accurate as my axe is.
It seems a little out of your wheelhouse, but I feel like you're gonna do the most damage with it.
Unfortunately, my weapons would have broken the skin of those creatures. This cut them.
Doraad.
Doraad, do you not have, and I apologize for presuming, but do you not have anything that prevents you from being scryed upon?
I don't.
I figured you wouldn't, because I asked you to find something like that for me, and you seemed a little confused about it.
That's why I paid for the name to not be known, so that you don't really know me. So if you don't know me, you can't scry on me. It's a whole thing. I didn't want to have to invest in it.
It's very smart. Seems are a
Well,
powerful
it
thing.
didn't. Well, apparently it didn't work, so we'll see how smart that was.
Womp womp.
Well, I did notice when what appeared to be teleportation, they actually rewound time to disappear. So I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
That part was real too.
Yes, it was very real.
That is very real.
Doraad.
There
DM?
are beings like that big armed creature in Ever Arbor, where I am from. Mine are not people. They are gargantuans, colossuses, beasts, larger than this house, larger than many of these houses in this place. They have abilities that no mortal should ever have. Ever Arbor is a land of great swamps and dense forests, trees the size of tower keeps. These beasts, when they travel, they don't crash through the trees or stomp through the swamps. Nature gets out of their way. Trying to classify their abilities is the work of sages and wizards, not of warriors like me.
It's lovely.
It sounds terrifying. Luca, are you from a different plane?
I don't know what that means.
I was just gonna say, the map that we have, do we know this map? Do we have all the names for everything across the ocean, or no?
Yeah, the map that you see is what is the known map. I actually have a separate map with way more information on it. This is
I figured.
yeah, this is
This is the
the
known.
the public
So,
knowledge map.
and planes is something that
You're
Doraad
familiar
would
with.
know.
I mean, yeah,
I mean,
you're an arcane
yeah,
spellcaster.
yeah.
You would have learned it in your studies, as at
Um,
least in theory.
Well, I would at least know in theory that they exist because the magical mystical shop was not on my plane, and I couldn't see my card because we weren't on the same plane.
Correct. However, let me pull up the list real quick. You would know that there are only a few planes. One moment.
It's fine. Luca, are you from when you got here? Did you take a boat? Are you from across the oceans? I don't know
I
where Ever Arbor is.
woke up in the mountains east of Dendris.
Oh, that sounds
Be
terrifying.
stolen.
Okay.
What did you say, Nadia?
Be stolen.
Stolen by a hag.
That's what you said, wasn't it?
This is what she said. It's a good memory. I've forgotten.
Very smart, you know.
I apologize for interjecting, but I have that list. You would know that there are only 5 planes. There is the mortal domain. There's the there's the Phalanx. There's the Fellscape. There's the celestial realm, and there's the ethereal sea. And these are all listed in our lore channel.
That's odd. It's awkward. Hag. Just thinking.
Where do we go from here?
Sema.
Ava,
To investigate.
Were you,
Go to Sema.
Well, I
People
mean,
to
we
the
have
table.
to. There's a few villages
Yeah, it's
on
not.
our side of the border. Yeah, it's not in Sea.
Yeah, it's not in Seema.
not
It's
exactly
just
Seema.
right up against the border to Seema.
My concern is mostly how do we proceed from here, knowing that we are actively being sought by one faction or more.
probably more.
And whatever did that deed to Darius slipped in and out of our notice and then ahead of us to this town. Are we following them, or are they hunting us too?
Could be either or, but
I
I mean,
You're all
I
thinking
don't
this.
think us being pursued should necessarily sway us from the mission. Uh, Maybe that's just me.
You're all
I'm not
thinking
saying
this
abandon the
more.
mission. I'm more trying to postulate what we need to prepare to be able to complete our mission. If we die on the road to the villages we're supposed to inspect, we can't complete our mission.
That's another
I
point.
mean, how do we prepare ourselves against demigods? I don't know.
I don't think I have any books on that. I'm sorry. Doraad will summon Cabbage and then place his glyph on his collar,
Okay.
and then I'll send Cabbage. I'll have him fly back to Dendris, and yeah, he's gonna go back to Dendris, and then however long that takes, you let me know when he makes it to Doraad's shop.
I will do.
Okay, so Cabbage is indisposed for an amount of time.
Greg, if you could hit us with the current day, and Jason, if you can put in cabbage left on, insert day in your private chat, so that way I can keep a mental clock going.
Because I did not roll well enough on my survival, I don't know if we went backwards or forwards. So it is, but you said out of game, it went backwards.
Forwards.
Forwards.
Forward. Okay, so now we're on the 16th of Abakrana.
Okay.
Um,
I know what your problem is, all of you.
What's that here?
do tell.
You're trying to answer all these questions. Oh, how did this person get in and out of the tent? How do they get ahead of us? How do they keep doing this and that? You're thinking about it all too mortally. Places aren't just places. Distances aren't just roads. It isn't always a matter of minutes or seconds or getting ahead or getting behind. Sometimes we're all mortals, that's your problem. There's beings who exist outside of all of that. Maybe what you're looking for is something like that. It's like trying to tell an ant about an apple. You can only see the wall of red right in front of it.
Hmm. Never been compared to a mortal ant before.
Have you ever met an immortal ant? Have you ever been compared to one of those?
Not
She's
since
got you there,
no.
Kensu.
Um,
You need to think bigger.
Something else that just occurred to me. If we are being hunted, the 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 only person that I know of that knew where we were all headed, or at least me and Doraad, is the vice counselor that put me on this mission.
And the Jeremys.
You know, the Jeremys only know what I let them know, and that's that I'm out of town, and then that you guys needed things for them to get you. Past that, they know nothing. That's their job.
I'm
Their
very
job is to.
confident about that.
Do
Oh, that's
the
what I'm hearing.
Jeremys have brains?
If they want to keep them in their head, yes.
Love Luca.
I am not smart. But if I was told that not Luca, that Doraad was leaving town and that all these people Doraad had met needed things before Doraad left town, I would assume one of two things. Either that Doraad is in debt, or that Doraad is preparing with people to go on a journey.
Oh, yes.
Hmm.
Sure. I mean, it's not hard to put together what it is. They know. But what I'm
Do
saying is they don't know. If anyone were to ever ask or do anything, they don't know. That's what I pay
Luca
them for.
Luca tilts her head like a golden retriever who's just been asked a math equation.
Nadia does it in unison with her.
do the Jeremys know about the deals that you made with the red, whatever it's called, Red Shoe Diaries, and
Red
Red
Street
Barbers.
the thing to hide your
Well,
name,
Red Street
No,
Bikers.
no.
Red Street Bar.
Nobody knows about that. Only you guys, because now the
No,
cat's out of the bag.
no, I was just double checking because
Cabbage flew out the
must
window.
trust them with
what
something.
cat?
You guys, focus, focus.
I can't.
I
Well,
don't
I know you can't.
I don't know what we need to focus on. When
let's
It's
Well-
not the Jeremys. We don't need to worry about the Jeremys. Thane is right. We need to.
Well, regardless of what it looks like outside, for us, it's in the middle of the night. Maybe we should get some rest so we can think with clear heads in the morning or afternoon, whatever.
yes.
How many chairs are there in here?
Chairs?
Chairs.
I would say there is at least enough a basic table for 4. So there's at least 4 like in the kitchen dining, and then within the living area there's probably my nice chair and maybe a love seat and a spare chair, and that's kind of it.
Luca unrolls her bedroll on the floor, and she trances sitting up. So, like, she leans against a wall.
Gotcha.
Nadia's gonna go try and open the door to Doraad's room.
Uh,
No, that's very much locked.
Kensu is going to take a chair and, at least for an hour or so, sit on the outside of the safe house just to keep watch on the outside as opposed to the inside.
Okay. How long are you keeping watch before you sleep too?
Me?
Mhm.
I'm going to say about an hour because I also want to use that, unless it has a range, the sending stone to talk to the vice counselor.
Ooh. Okay. Perfect. Then we'll get to your watch in a second. What is everyone else doing for the evening?
Thane's spending 2 hours on watch, 4 hours resting, and then 2 hours on watch again.
Okay. So
Nadia's gonna check to see if Doraad takes the pill she gave him.
Doraad has not taken the pill yet.
Right.
Doraad
I
has not taken the pill yet.
think she'll go outside and keep Kensu company for a while.
All right. So
Luca trances with that big ass curved greatsword laid across her lap.
yes.
Man, wow.
In lieu of an identified spell, being in contact with an item over a long rest will absolutely give you some secrets. So I will share those with you in a moment. Doraad, what are you doing for the evening?
Doraad goes into his room when B is not close enough, or when Nadia is not close enough to jump in there, like cat trying to get outside.
Exactly like a cat trying to get
Walk in with your
I feel
leg
like
in the
that's
door
exact-
so no one
like-
can scoot past.
Right. I feel like every time Doraad started going over there, Nadia would just kind of just like
Exactly.
start,
Exactly.
just like lift up and float sideways towards the and then lock himself in his room. And in his room, there's nothing but a desk and a bed. Like that's it. That's all he's got in there.
Male living space.
That's it. It's very. Mhm. Uh, For a couple moments, Doraad will play around with his Quill of Desire and just have it write random things that he thinks he wants or whatever, and then, I mean, that's it. He's gonna just shoot the rest of his glass of whiskey he's got, and then go to sleep until he fucking wakes up.
All right. Well, then, we will start with Kensu, Thane, and Nadia outside on first watch. Before you roll, listen to both options. You can either roll a perception check with advantage or one perception check and one survival check while you're on your watch.
You talking to me?
All three of you that are...
Oh.
'cause all three of you said you were taking first watch together, so...
I'll take perception with advantage.
I'll take perception and survival.
Okay.
Wait, can I use one of my my
Better
sorcerer
and see
things
better.
for reroll?
Can you what? I'm sorry. I just got distracted by that absurd perception.
Can I use one of my sorcerer points to reroll?
Yes.
Retcon. As soon as Doraad would be in his room and when he was done messing around with all that shit, he would take the pill that Nadia gave him or whatever it was. He would take it and then lay down and then go
You're
to
not
sleep.
even gonna hang out with me while you're trying.
I don't know what it is you gave me.
I don't know what it is I gave you.
I know, so that's why
Can I
I'm in
do
a
this
locked
alone?
room all by myself with my warlock spells.
Zeke, do you know what I
For
gave
now.
you?
For now, we'll see. Worst case
You
scenario,
said that- Remember a conversation where we were discussing whether what Nadia gave Doraad was some of the stuff that she's gotten on the road or stuff from home?
yes, and it was stuff from home.
It was stuff from
That's-
home.
Uh-huh. We'll get to that.
We'll
First,
see.
let's-
We'll see how that goes.
Let's go over
Let's
these
see if this
rolls.
gives you any insight on Nadia's home.
We'll just go through in the order they were rolled. So, Kensu, with a 21 on your perception check, you will notice that there is a single person walking down the road, because everyone's kind of out right now. Like, you guys are tired, but most people are just too focused on what's going on to even sleep right now. So most people are outside. And you notice one person in particular who is not looking up and is just walking like they have a purpose and they're not looking up. And it seems odd, just because it stands out among a crowd of people all looking up. They seem to be either a human or a half-elf. It's kind of hard to tell, as they're wearing a hat that kind of sort of obscures the ears a little bit. He is wearing what looks a lot like nobleman's attire. That's the first thing you'll notice.
Okay.
Next, Thane.
Yeah.
You're watching. You will also notice the same person, and as your eyes follow them, they kind of go off to the side, and you realize something that catches you off guard. Immediately next door to this safe house that you're currently sitting on the front porch of is an old building with a sign of a hammer and an anvil.
You gotta stop having me roll perception checks in cities, man.
Hammer and anvil. Is it the same place?
Yes.
Yes.
Smith.
Oh, it's the Smith. It's our stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who's the guy?
shit.
All right. Does my
And-
survival yield anything?
Yes, it does. Something incredibly important. I'm glad at least one person chose to roll a survival check. As you as you guys are out here, you're out here for at least an hour, if not longer for some of you. You notice something, Thane. The sun hasn't moved. It's still noon up in the sky.
But I'm feeling like I'm rejuvenating through a rest.
Yeah, time is passing, but the sun's, at least as far as you're concerned, but the sun hasn't moved yet. It's still just noon.
Okay. I'll say that it looks like whatever effect that is, pointing at the sky, we're catching up to it. Saying that to Kensu and Nadia.
Interesting.
Did I get anything with my 11?
It's bright outside, and it shouldn't be.
What?
With
I don't recognize the guy, do I?
The sky is blue and all the fields are green. Sun's as warm as a baked potato.
With an 11,
Drop the D.
you will notice something actually near the end of your watch. You will hear strange noises coming from the side of the house that Doraad's room is.
God.
With an 11, that's all you notice is strange noises coming
What
from Doraad's
kind
room.
of strange noises?
Maybe a person talking to themselves. Maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe it's hard to tell. They don't sound like supernatural noises or anything. Or maybe they do. You're also still high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
take
don't
it back.
recognize
It's
the
just
guy.
weird.
I don't recognize the half-elf guy in the fancy clothes, do I?
Unless one of your two watch persons points it out, you don't even notice them. But I assume you do. Either Thane or Kensu.
I would. I would say, yeah, that guy kind of. It is a guy, right? You did say he.
I don't think I specified, but yes, it is.
Okay. They kind of stand out. Everybody else is kind of caught in awe of whatever's going on, but this person seems to be going about their business with some serious intent.
Do I recognize them?
You do not.
Does all half elves know each other, or
No. That's not it. Not even a half-elf.
I know,
Real
but
elf.
I'm not a real elf either.
I was just trying to see if I could make
That's
you
you.
slip up. That's all.
Being pointed out, what you see, if you'd like, you can make an Arcana check. Or, no, I take that back. History check.
Can I make an Arcana check because I'm really high?
I'm looking through your magic eye.
Sure.
I
You
love
gotta
when
ask
we-
for these things.
Yeah.
You gotta ask for these
Yeah.
things.
Gotta ask. I'm down for it. Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and roll an Arcana.
Because I'm high and I see magic right now.
That wasn't with advantage, but 17.
Okay, 17 on your high history check. Not Arcana, high history. Something about them does feel familiar. As you look at them, you don't recognize them, but you sniff instinctively, and most people wouldn't understand why, but you do. And as you instinctively sniff, you smell warm-baked chocolate chip cookies.
Aw, fuck. Guys from home.
Fucking Keeblers, man.
Nadia, I think, yelps and ducks. It's a really weird sight because you see Nadia, you point the guy out to Nadia, and you see her perk up, you see her sniff, like in the wind. Her nose twitches, then her eyes go wide, and she kind of yelps and ducks, sort of down below the railing of the balcony.
Do you owe that person money? Why are you
Oh,
hiding?
no. I don't know the money. I would just like to go inside.
Fair enough.
He's gonna kind of stumble up and get inside.
Okay.
I told you, Hensu. We're being hunted.
Yeah.
Kensu, do you see this building? He's pointing to the building next to them. Or are my eyes deceiving me?
Having it pointed out to you, it shocks you because you've looked over that way at least a dozen times already. And now there's just a whole ass building there that you didn't even see before.
I see it now. I guess our stuff is ready, or there's somebody else down there that's worthy of the Smith's magic items.
Why don't you step inside and I'll wait here?
Okay. Sure.
All right.
Uh-huh. Sure. Okay.
So,
I will. Is this safe house up or
yeah, there's a
second
small
story?
set of stairs leading up to it. But
Okay.
it's yeah.
I was assuming
All
we were
right.
chilling on like a fire escape or something.
Yeah. I will head
The
over to
broken glass kids.
I will head over there and head into the shop and see if
The city is Montreal in my mind.
Where did the half elf go?
The half elf just kept going right down the street. If none of you follow them, then they're lost shortly after you spot them.
I'm gonna go and attempt to find them again.
Ooh. Why don't you give me another survival check to track your quarry?
Not great.
I believe that's in fact a natural one.
It
It
is.
is. That's icky.
you lost yourself.
No. Thank God for no crit fails on skill checks. Your modifier is so large that it's still a 9. So you're not going to get nothing. Promise. First, we'll go to Luca briefly. Luca, you are trancing, but more than that, you're meditating on the form and function of this blade, trying to understand it and let yourself become in tune with whatever its deal is. And as you do, you feel your trance become much deeper and you become much less aware of the conscious world around you as you begin to see visions. You see the following scene. And before I describe this, you are immediately aware that you are watching this following scene in first person and from the perspective of the owner of this weapon.
Can I clarify something with you real quick? Because I don't remember it.
Yes.
How big is this sword?
The person wielding it was 7 feet tall, and the pommel, which was even with the top of their head, and the tip of the curved sword was about halfway down their calf. It's huge.
While I was resting on their back.
While it was resting on the back, yeah, sorry.
I'm gonna need a big
He's a-
sheath.
He's a big one.
The previous holder of it didn't actually have a sheath. There was just a strap with a 2-pronged fork that the crossguard would just hang on.
Yeah. So I'm having a first-person dream sequence as though I was wielding the blade.
Yes.
I have a feeling that this is going to go to dark and dangerous places.
I swear I didn't get any mushrooms, okay?
Maybe it's the free tutorial that comes with using the weapon.
Lol. Lol.
You wake up and you're in a cart.
Tutorial
And the guy
mission.
looks down at you and he goes, "Hey, you're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, weren't you?
Second level
You
of
got ambushed by,
isekai.
you walked right into that Imperial ambush."
Whoa, 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 whoa. I assume there's only so many words we can say off that screen. Even if it
You'll
is
never get it.
really old.
Archers.
Archers!
I have the whole
You'll never
scene
catch me!
until what's the big dragon named?
Alduin? Alduin? Yeah.
Alduin.
It is
I have the whole
Alduin.
scene until Alduin attacks memorized.
It's been a couple years since the last time I played. Anyways, back to the
I
dream.
can recite the whole
I
thing.
literally just booted that up last night and started playing it again.
Wow. So Luca. For the following dream, when I say you, I am not referring to Luca. I am referring to the perspective that you are now experiencing through. So, you are walking through the streets of Dendris. And you are walking up to Doraad's shop. And you see your own foot burst through this door, launching it clear to the back of the lobby. And as you walk in, having to duck to make it under the door frame,
As though I was approximately 7 feet tall.
as though you were approximately 7 feet tall. You are beset with the sight of Jeremy's. One of which begins to inquire something of you before you reach out and grab their neck, and you squeeze until your hand goes through enough flesh to grab spine, and you pull it out of their body. And the person drops dead, and the rest of the Jeremys immediately begin to run away.
This is my dream. You don't get
Yeah,
to
I was
ask
about to
questions,
say.
Jason.
Can it wait until after? You then, as they're all running, you turn back and you see your companion that is covered in bandages with no eyelids and no lips
And no aura.
and no aura. Even from your
Good
current
boy.
perspective in this little vision you're having, there's none. And you turn to them and say, "So, where was it supposed to be?" And the bandaged one looks to you and says, "I believe it happened in there." And it points to a back room. And you walk in and you open up the door to a very small changing room, maybe a back room. You're not quite sure exactly what it is, but you walk in and you look around, and from your perspective, your eyes blink a few times, and then all of a sudden you can see things you couldn't see before. And all around you are strange symbols in a language that you don't recognize. Yeah, it definitely happened here. Well, shit. I was really hoping that bastard wouldn't talk to anyone, but now they've gone and got someone involved. Who the fuck owns this building anyways? And you begin to walk behind the counter and rifle through things until you find Doraad, and you find an old magazine that was published with their face on it, advertising their grand opening. And you're like, well, looks like this Doraad fellow is already come in contact with him. We're gonna have to kill him. we're gonna have to kill him. And the big one says, fine, I'll figure out who they are. And then you wake up, and you're back in Doraad's room. Or Doraad's safe house. And you were yourself again.
May I propose an alternative, Zeke?
Oh?
So, Luca hasn't slept and dreamed in a while. Being what she is, that doesn't happen very often. But dreaming of being in the body of such a powerful being makes her mind transition from the scene in Doraad's tailor shop to waking up high in a tree on a tree branch late into night or very early in the morning. And there are cries around her, battle cries. And she sees her friends, her fellow warriors, throwing barbed spears with vine ropes attached to them and swinging down onto the body of a creature that is so large it doesn't fit into the frame of her eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
And Luca prepares to throw her spear, and then she sees someone out in front of the creature drawing its main ire and attention. And instead of throwing the spear, she turns and she bolts. And as she does, there's a massive, like, earth-shaking roar from this massive creature beyond the size of anything that most people will ever deal with in their entire lives. And Luca wakes up. She immediately springs into standing and kicks Doraad's end table up into the air and slices it downward with the sword and cleaves it in one smooth motion. And she is again sweating, panting slightly, obviously worked up, obviously feeling strong feelings. And when Luca feels strong feelings, she destroys things.
Beautiful. Very, very excellent. Thank you.
When she notices that the rest are presumably outside, she
Nadia's
is going.
inside by this point.
Nadia's inside. Nadia sees Luca fucking destroy an ottoman.
Fuck this ottoman in particular.
Are you having a bad dream?
That Ottoman's name was Tony.
Several bad dreams, tried sister.
Keep calling me that.
Where I'm from, we don't have anything but Eladrin. You are not Eladrin, but you are close. I suspect you are some sort of mischief spirit, but the form you take is close to mine.
Oh, not entirely far off.
Mischief spirit.
I must talk with Doraad.
Well, he's locked in his room making noises.
It's super true.
That is very true. I'm high as a kite right now. Or am I?
But by all means, open the door and let Naughty in.
Huh?
I feel like I'd be able
But
to
by
be
all
more helpful if I could just remember what I gave him, but I really don't.
I listen. Do I hear activity from Doraad's room?
You sure do. And as for what you hear, we'll briefly change over to you, Doraad. You finish everything that you wanted to do, and you look at this something from wherever Nadia's from, and decide.
What is it?
It
Pill? Is it like a mushroom?
it looks like a tiny.
Is it an M&M?
It
Tylenol?
It looks like a hollowed out log covered in moss, like you would find fallen in an old forest, but it's only this big.
Tiny.
This big.
Oh, fuck yeah.
God. Oh,
That's
God.
definitely from home.
That's definitely from home.
Miniaturized log. It's wow.
What is that thing I said at you? Like, bro, we're smoking straight up spiders right now.
Doraad, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Not because there's any chance that you're not going to be high, but because I need to know how bad.
Not because there's any chance that you're not going to be high, but because there's a chance that you might straight up die.
What'd you get?
Ride this wave like the goddamn champion that Doraad is with a
Natural
nat 20 for
20.
21.
Yes!
Oh, this is gonna rock.
Oh yeah,
I'm in
no,
there
this is
playing
gonna be
patty
great.
cake with my fucking mage hand. I'm rocking the fuck
It's
out.
gonna be awesome.
Here's what happens. Doraad, you begin to sit down on your couch and have a completely stimulating intellectual discussion with every possible variant of yourself that is all gathered for a meeting of Doraads.
It's like the Council of Ricks.
Yes, it's literally Council of Ricks, but just Council of Doraads. And you're just talking and about the secrets of the universe and the true meaning of what it means to be Doraad.
Oh,
And the whole time, all you can smell is whatever Doraad's favorite dessert is. Whatever Doraad's favorite
dessert?
Yeah, or it doesn't necessarily have to be dessert. Whatever Doraad's favorite like sweet treat is. Whatever it is. And if you don't
Or
have
Nadia
one,
smells like sweet
it's
treat.
mostly going to smell like cloves and
Can it
cinnamon.
instead? Can it be just like raw? Does chocolate exist?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just like dark, all dark.
All dark.
No, like I won't let that super dark. That's that kind of
80
roasted. That's what it would be.
86% cacao.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
I'm looking
good
for that stuff. I'm gonna roll a d20 high low. If I spill anything in my ramblings to myself,
Ooh.
we're gonna say 10 and under. Say some shit I shouldn't. Oh, that's a
Ew.
6.
Rod?
Yeah. Well, if I'm talking to myself,
I assume
and
you
high.
mean that other people might hear you say something as you were talking to
yes,
yourself.
yes.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. I mean, if I'm in there talking, there's a good chance I'm going to be talking about shit that I don't want other people to hear. I'm in my room, I'm locked up, and I'm only surrounded by Doraads.
That's
What can go
true.
wrong?
So what do you say?
So
Nadia and Luca, whatever's about to come out of Jason's mouth is what you hear.
it would go. It would be a conversation about someone named Mip,
Named
M-I-P, Mip, M-I-P, and another person referenced as the boy. And the conversation would be, if we can't save Mip, what do we do with the boy? And then just spitballing ideas around that. That would be kind of the conversation.
Okay. Are there
Yeah.
any other particular details that might be brought up during the deliberations of what should be said? Or what should be done?
Luca would start to sing loud enough that we couldn't hear Doraad.
Nadia's gonna try and put her hand over her mouth.
When a man walks with the spirits, what he finds is his own.
A man walks with the spirits who listen really hard in case he says something funny.
Luca continues to sing to drown out whatever Doraad's
Nadia's
going
gonna
through.
sort of like keep just trying to put her hands over Luca's mouth, shove her out of the way.
The dichotomy between Luca and Nadia's ideologies is
So funny because
So
they
funny.
look alike and they're so different.
Then you don't have to answer that question, Jason, as everything else after that is drowned out by beautiful singing, I assume. I'm not sure.
Luca's a good singer.
Yeah?
Luca's
We hadn't actually talked about it, but I assumed with your very high performance that it would probably sound really good.
it's part of the act. She's not the best singer in the world, like she's the best axe thrower in the world, but
Gotcha.
Nadia's gonna like try and knock on the door really hard.
You don't hear a thing. All you hear is... when you hear knocking, it just sounds like one of the Doraads talking.
Okay.
Kensu,
Mm-hmm.
you walk in to the smith's shop. And as you walk in, it looks identical to the last time that you were in here. Down to every minute detail. You see the chair, but it is currently empty. And in the middle of the counter, there is the service bell.
Okay, Kensu is going to walk over and ring the bell.
You ring the bell, and its dolorous tone rings and not echoes, but persists for an unusually long moment. And about 10-15 seconds later, the back door will open, and out comes shuffling the smith, who will approach the counter and say, "How may I help you?" Yeah, Greg?
When I hear the back door open, am I allowed to try to take a peek to see what's on the other side of that back door?
You can try, yeah. Why don't you give me a perception check?
Okay. I mean, I'd like to know where he's coming from. Assuming it doesn't melt my brain or anything, but not to give you ideas, but oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do with advantage.
You're good. Just the first roll.
Do I take the
It's
first
still-
one or just the roll?
Yeah, so on roll 20, even if you have advantage or disadvantage, whichever one is rolled first is always on the left. So you still got your 23. You're good.
Okay.
You look back and try to look past. And the smith isn't like blocking you or like trying to like actively stop you from looking past. But you just see darkness. Like your sight cannot pierce the veil at the threshold of that door.
Okay.
There's nothing odd or bad feeling about it. It's just dark. Too dark to see.
This might be a metaphysical kind of question, but
Ask away.
does it look dark as in the absence of light or dark as the absence of anything? Is there a nothingness there or is it just dark?
There is a nothingness there.
Nothing. Okay. Once the smith approaches, I will say, "We see your shop. Does that mean some of our orders are ready?"
The smith says, "Your item is ready. Would you like it now?"
Sure.
Very well. The smith will turn and leave you, exiting through the back door. After about a minute, the smith returns. Though this time, they're holding something in their hand. What you see is a box made out of what seems to be dragon scales. And you see the dragon scales, whenever you're looking directly at it, it seems solid like a box. But whenever you look away or up at the smith or anywhere else, your peripherals could swear that the box was breathing. Just ever so slightly moving up and down, just ever so gently. And it is wrapped in a ribbon that is very strange. It is the shape and size of just a silk ribbon, but it looks like the ribbon is made out of lightning. Not that it is some material containing lightning, but like lightning was pulled out of the air mid-strike and wrapped around your box.
Ooh.
And the smith will set the box on the counter and will say, "Here is your order."
I will take the box. Do the others need to come and get their items personally? Or was it just mine that was ready?
Will that be all?
Sure. Yeah, that'll be all.
The smith turns and exits through the back door, leaving you alone in the shop with your box.
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she said. Um,
I was thinking 7. What's in the box?
oh yeah.
Oh,
Top
that's such a
secret.
good movie. What's in the box?
I will open the box here,
Okay.
just in case. I don't want to like have lightning shoot randomly off the box and kill somebody.
As you grab the ribbon to untie it, it feels like satin on your skin, but at the same time, all of your hairs stand up on end as you feel that feeling of electricity. And you open it up, and as you grab the box, you could swear these are real dragon scales that make up this box. And it kind of catches you off guard, and you place your hand on it, and you could feel the rhythmic breathing of a sleeping dragon, and you can feel the box ever so slightly rise and fall under your hand.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. What, what do
I'm sorry, I'm having fun.
what's in the box? What's in the box?
You open the box?
I do.
Okay. As you open the box, you see you see a prosthetic arm made out of dragon scales. But despite being made out of dragon scales, they are put together in such a way that it seems to be a perfect, down to the most minute contour and imperfection and pore of your own right arm mirrored to your left. It looks essentially like a real arm, except for instead of made out of skin, it's made out of dragon scales.
Nice.
And as you look at it, you can every now and again see traces of lightning arcing, following the path of least resistance as lightning does, going in between and around the cracks that separate each individual scale. And periodically you see it just race down the arm and disappear.
Super cool.
Um, yeah, I will do this here because I don't usually do it around other people, but I will uh take off my own prosthetic arm and put on this one.
Sure.
Yeah.
You detach your prosthetic arm and set it down, I assume, on the counter or the floor or something.
Mm.
And you grab this new prosthetic arm. And as you bring it up to your arm, it almost, when it gets like really close and you're about to attach it, it almost like jolts out of your hand for a moment and attaches itself. And for a brief moment, you are struck with indescribable pain as all of your nerves attach, and you now have feeling throughout your entire left arm.
Oh,
Third just gets his whole arm back.
Kinsu will scream if it's that bad.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's
another reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
Every nerve ending in the entire arm reattaches at once. It sucks for like a solid 15 seconds.
oh,
Okay. After that's over,
You, after it's over and you look down, the cap that is there to serve as the hub for your other prosthetic arm to actually attach to is gone, and this prosthetic meets right where your flesh. Prosthetic ends right where your flesh starts, like it's a part of you.
One time use
Yeah.
only.
I'll start, giving it you know, a test and just start, like, doing some maneuvers with the scimitars and just,
He does some maneuvers.
So you grab a weapon in your hand and you go to swing it, and it feels natural, like your real arm. But as you're going through your maneuvers, you are a very well trained fighter. You do a lot more things than just slash. And as you begin to go through your defensive maneuvers, as you are a shield user, as your previous prosthetic had a shield in it, one of the dragon scales on your arm lifts up and grows in expanded size and acts like a shield. And as you do like a little hop and a dash to try and interpose yourself between your imaginary ally and your imaginary enemy as you begin practicing your forms, there's a brief crack of lightning as you realize you're on the opposite end of the room and you're not sure how you got there. But you're on the opposite end of the room with your shield up. And you look back and you see briefly there are footsteps leading from where you are to where you were on the ground that are just in the perfect shape of your boot, but it's lightning that is left pooled on the floor for a moment before fading into the atmosphere.
I literally wrote down in my notes, me likey. Um,
Oh man.
um, Making sure that others get to rejoice in the same happiness that I am. I will, uh, st still holding on to the box, grab my old prosthetic arm.
Okay.
I will leave the shop and go back to the others to tell them. Well, actually, the first thing I'll do when I step out is to see if the shop stays.
Still there.
Okay. Then I will run up the stairs and let everybody know that um the shop is here if you guys want your stuff. And I'll see if I can mimic the lightning move really quick to show how excited I am.
All right. We'll get to you telling everyone in the house in a moment. Thane, you are
yes.
following this person, whoever it is, that was seemingly unperturbed by the events in the sky. And did you already roll that survival to follow them? Yeah, it was a 9.
Yeah. it was a 9.
As you begin to follow them, you follow them for a few turns, and you begin to notice a few things about them. One is that you smell fresh baked cookies as you get close enough to tail them. That's the first thing that you notice. The second thing you notice is that they seem particularly well filled with the weave, exactly like Nadia is. Well, the feel is different. It's clearly a different person, and the amount is different, but the type of feel is the same. However, after your third, we'll say fourth turn, you lose them in the crowd as people are starting to now no longer look up and are now looking at each other, trying to discuss and talk about whatever is going on.
Okay.
They weren't heading toward anywhere that you guys have been.
No, but they look like they had a purpose.
They did.
Um,
They did look like they had purpose.
can I keep going and see if I can chance upon them before they turn off onto the side road?
Sure. I'll allow one more roll, though the DC is going to be a little higher since you have already lost them. But you can try and pick up the trail again.
Just follow your nose, like loop style.
14. All right. With a 14, you can't find them visibly again, but you do maintain a hold of the smell. And you're able to follow it loosely. You're not sure if you're going in the exact route that they took, but you're heading in the general-ish same direction as you follow this smell. And as you do, you start to realize where this person is heading. As you yourself, trying to follow the smell, are making their way toward a building called... hold on. It's right here. It's a large...
What are we doing?
I don't know.
I'm wearing
Ross,
clothes
Ross
too.
couldn't see. There's the joke in the Jester's Corner talking about, so they wrote somehow Palpatine returned. I thought that was a shot at my shirt because I got Vader on there, but it's funny because
No.
it's Vader and it says number one
I
dad.
thought we were just showing our shirts. I'm wearing overalls.
Woo!
I got more overalls than I do normal pants.
Thing.
Like 4
Yes.
different pairs of overalls. 6 actually.
As you sort of reach the end of this trail leading toward this building, you look upon it, and it seems to be maybe a government building, maybe not. You're not sure. It's a large building made out of very fine stone with large stone pillars, sort of like in a very Greek fashion. And written in large, bold letters in steel above the very large and grand entryway says NSO. And then in a little bit smaller print than that, it says the National Sending Office.
Do I have any idea what this is?
Considering you are new to this country, I would say probably not.
Okay. All right. I head back to Doraad's safe house after reaching here.
Okay. You arrive back to find Nadia and Luca having a very lighthearted argument about to listen in or not to listen in on Doraad's high ramblings. And Kensu is still not back by the time you walk in.
Where did
Okay.
you go?
I'm just checking up on you guys. You didn't see him leave. You were inside at the time.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
After making sure they're okay, Thane's going back outside for the second hour before he takes his rest.
Okay.
Just pop in, do a quick head count. All right, we're done.
Yeah.
Um.
Um,
I think Nadia will go back out with him eventually.
Okay.
Thane will be inspecting the feather on his second 2-hour stint, but not right now.
Be what?
Inspecting what?
The jade feather that I have, he'll be
Yes.
inspecting that on his second 2-hour stint, but not right now.
Okay. Then while the two of you are still on watch, Kensu would exit out of the building to the right.
During this time, Nadia is like very, very, very like rapidly over and over again, like looking out at the street.
So far, you don't see or smell anyone else.
He practically like jumps a foot in the air when the door opens, and then Kensu comes out.
So Kensu, you're coming back to the safe house, and on the porch is Thane and Nadia.
Guys, our stuff is ready. If you guys, I don't know if you can go in more than once, but look at this, and I'll show off my sort of real arm.
Why are you showing me your arm? I got one too. Look at mine.
You know what? I'm an ant. I don't think you would understand, but your stuff is whatever you ask the smith for. You should go get it.
I don't think you're an ant, Kensu.
But
I'm
before
really-
I
Figure of speech. Do you not have those here?
have what here?
Figures of speech.
Sure, yeah. It was just a figure of speech as well. But, before I had a fake arm, now I have a real arm. That's all I was trying to show you.
You had a fake arm before.
I did, yeah.
Never noticed. You didn't
I
see
guess-
that fellow in there while you were there, did you?
No, just the smith.
I'm really intrigued. Can I touch it?
Yes.
He's just I already have an item from him, so he replaced your entire arm. That's really incredible to Thane. So he's very curious about this.
Yeah, sure.
Thane, you reach out and you feel you've never touched a dragon scale before, but if your mind had to fill in the blanks of what it would feel like to touch a real dragon scale, that's what you feel. And Kensu, you feel Thane's touch. Like, you have actual sensation there as Thane reaches out and touches it.
That's incredible.
I know that. I'm really at a loss for words.
I think that was free. This was free.
I
He
know.
takes off his crown for a second. It's like, what else does it do?
But okay.
And he's gonna hop up off the porch and slowly sort of look around very, very carefully, and then run across, bolt across the street into the shop.
All right, so you go into the shop. Kensu and Thane, do either of you go inside and let Luca and or Doraad know? That
I thought
the items
Kensu was going to do that.
Yeah, I'll go inside. I'll go inside because I haven't had any rest yet. So
Got it.
You see Luca attempting to put together the pieces of Doraad's ottoman.
did the Ottoman attack you, Luca?
Luca turns and looks at Kensu with a look of utter, haha, very funny. Before saying, Doraad is having an. Doraad is. And says in Elvish, I don't know how to say Doraad is high as fuck in ancient tongue.
Ross put his little green hat on.
Okay. Well,
Very little.
I'll
Very
let
green.
Doraad have his moment, but if you'd like, the Smith is back and is giving us our.
I'm not here.
No, you're not.
Luca's like outside the door, like before you finish your sentence.
Fuck that ottoman.
And she leaves, and just as she gets out the door, the two pieces of the ottoman like slip apart.
And Kensu will go into the guest room, not wanting to hear anything that Doraad is saying.
Got it. Perfect. Nadia, you're the first one inside the Smith's shop. And you are now in here, identical to the last time you saw it. And you are alone with the exception of a single service bell.
Considering how
Service dog?
considering how difficult it is, Luca.
Sorry?
Considering how difficult it is to find it, the thing actually points it out to you as you come out the door.
Good.
Luca runs. Like, Luca stops, looks around, and when Thane points it out, Luca runs.
Sorry, Nadia. Keep going.
Nadia's gonna ding the bell.
Oh, hello.
No response to your call, but about 10 seconds after the ding, the back door will open and approaching you is the Smith, who will come up to the counter and say, "How may I help you?"
My thingy ready.
Your order is ready. Shall I fetch it for you?
Yes.
Very well. And we'll turn and leave. And after a few moments, comes back with a box. Now, this box is strange. Because the box doesn't seem to be made out of anything solid. It seems to be made out of shimmering lights, changing colors and shades. It seems to be light itself trapped in a improbable prism refracting upon itself.
Like Aurora Borealis?
Like Aurora Borealis, but less of a pattern and more chaotic.
Awesome.
And it is wrapped in a ribbon that is of a pure white with a single noticeable feature on it, besides that it is blissfully white silk. Upon closer inspection, as the Smith sets it down on the counter, it seems to be made of snow.
Motherfucker. Okay. Yeah, of course it is.
You know, this isn't. The snow thing is temporary, you know. This isn't like my long-term brand.
Will that be all?
It's just for next time. You don't have to do the snow again. It's not not my brand really.
Will that be all?
Yes.
Very well. And the Smith will turn and leave, leaving you alone with your box as Luca comes right in after the Smith leaves. Do you still open it?
Can I look? If I open the door, is the porch now, like, is there anyone still on the porch?
Wait, sorry, could you repeat that? Sorry.
If I open the door to the Smith shop and look across the street, is there anything on the porch? Is there anyone on the porch?
Thane, I
Thane?
believe.
Thane, are you still on the porch right now? Okay, then yes.
I will go open it next to Thane.
Okay. You sit next to Thane and you begin to open the box. You grab the ribbon and you notice that you can tell that it's exceedingly cold. enough to instantly cause damage to a normal person touching it. But at the same time, you also are unaffected by its temperature. And as you undo...
Thane, come touch this.
Thing.
I'll reach over. I'm curious.
Pulled out the ribbon for him to touch.
Your fingers get within about an inch of it before you have to recoil from how cold it is.
Thank you.
You undo the ribbon and you grab this box that looks like you're just grabbing refracted light. And you open it. And inside is a small... It looks like a hair tie. Except...
Oh, I already have one of these.
The closer you look at it, though, this hair tie, every millimeter or so, it changes materials. And it seems to be every kind of material that you've ever seen and then some, all wrapped into this. And as you turn it in your hand, the pattern of the materials stays statically locked even though you turn the thing. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, it's sort of like the pattern on the clothes in Chowder. Like how it's like a wallpaper background and then the item passes over it and you can kind of look through it like a window kind of thing. It's like that. So as you move, the materials seem to be an ethereal background and the hair tie is like the portal with which you look upon that background.
I'm gonna tie my hair up with it. Not all of it, just like a half up, half down sort of stitch.
Right. As you cinch it up, you feel something, power, course through, down your hair and into your scalp and through your body, and it feels welcoming and it feels familiar. That's all you get if you just put it on.
Does it work?
I'm gonna think really hard about what I would do if that guy showed back up.
You begin to look exactly like him.
Like him?
Mm-hmm.
I think really hard
That's
about
gonna be
Think what?
really hard about Thane.
You, for all intents and purposes, this porch seems to hold two Thanes.
What about my voice? If I open my mouth up.
You speak in Thane's voice. And more than this, you've seen the magic of like a disguised self. But your clothes, your equipment, everything you're wearing and carrying looks exactly like Thane's. You can tell that it's not real. You can tell it's an illusion. But even knowing it's an illusion, you can't see through it.
That's awesome. Can I tell it's not me?
I mean, only in the sense that you're you, so that must not be you. But other than that,
I know.
no.
Daggone.
I think Nadia thinks of a lot of things. I think she flickers through a few different appearances very quickly.
You change one more time after Thane, and then it doesn't work anymore.
Aww. Just for good?
You're not sure.
What if I fucking broke it?
You'll probably have to get used to it. Go rest.
Can I change
with
back
it.
to normal?
Yes, you can.
Oh, thank fucking God. What if I used my last one to change into someone else? Can I still change back into myself?
Yes.
Okay. Just broke my own fucking magic item instantly.
Lol. Luca, you are now, after Nadia leaves, alone in the smith shop.
Bang, bang, bang on the bell.
That's a love shot.
After a moment, the smith comes in through the back door and approaches the desk, and despite the bang, 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 is walking at the same speed they always do, with no true sense of urgency, and will approach the desk and say, "How may I help you?"
I had an order.
Your order is complete. Would you like it? Or would you like me to fetch it for you now?
Yes.
Very well. The smith will
Now.
turn,
Yeah.
leave, and after a few minutes, return. And as they do, they too are carrying a box held out on this wrapped hand. This box immediately strikes Luca with a sense of nostalgic familiarity, as seemingly in the shape of a rectangular box is the mists of Everarbor. And wrapped like ribbon around it is the bark of the elder tree.
Is he still holding the box?
He is for a moment, as he then sets it down gently on the counter in front of you.
Not anymore.
Luca slides in front of the box and very gently puts her fingertips under the edge of the lid, prepares herself for a moment, and then when she lifts it up, she leans in and just takes a deep, resounding breath of the mist as they rise from the box.
You are struck with the smell of petrichor, and not just any, but the kind of petrichor that was of where you grew up, your hometown itself. And as you open the box, it does release a brief fog, like it was being kept inside by the box, and it rolls out over you, and inside is a single axe. It seems a little larger than a regular hand axe, but it is perfectly shaped for throwing. The axe handle seems to be made out of wood from Everarbor. And instead of metal, the axe itself seems to be made, just like the box, out of the mists of Everarbor.
Damn.
Luca would reach for the axe, and then there'd be a moment of hesitation, and her fingers would retreat from it. And she'd look at the smith and say, "Can you take me home?"
That's good.
I cannot.
You've given me the next best thing. And Luca will seize the axe. And if I remember right, Zeke, what I asked for was a returning axe that was silent and wouldn't be noticed even as it stuck into somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to throw the axe towards the smith's wall, but like enforce my will to it to return before it impacts the wall.
You throw the axe, and there's a brief puff of mist, as almost cartoonish, like how you'd see like someone like a cartoon character get hit and they're left with like a smoky outline of them. That's almost what you see, as like there's like mist in the shape of the axe where it was, and you hear nothing. The closest thing is inside your own head, like echoing within your eardrums itself, is the ever so faint sound of like an owl's wing beat, which is pretty much perfectly silent.
And she return it to her hand.
As the axe is about to impact the wall, and you will it to return to your hand, it's in your hand. Now, I don't mean it disappears and then reappears in your hand. I don't mean it teleports to your hand. I mean, with not even a microsecond of delay, it simply ceases to exist where it was and begins to exist back in your hand.
Thank you, Smith.
Will that be all?
Is it fair to say that you are a master of your trade?
I am the smith.
What can you tell me about this? And Luca hands the gigantic fucking buster sword of a falchion to the smith.
Would you like an appraisal?
Is it free?
Yes.
Yes, I would like an appraisal. Appraisal.
The smith will reach out their hand and just ever so gently touch their fingertips to the weapon. And even though you are not the weapon and you don't feel anything, you swear that the same sensation, like that cold water that passed through you, is happening right now to that sword. You just feel it in your bones. And the smith retreats their hand after a moment. Very slowly, very methodically. And it retreats back into the rags, hiding their arms once again. And says, "This is one of my creations."
I stole it.
I see. Do you wish to know the details of this creation?
I do.
This was created for the sole purpose of being able to pierce the hide of primal deities. That is its only function.
What is its name?
The purchaser of this weapon was unaware that they could purchase originals from me. It has not a name.
So I can name it.
I assume you possess the capability of naming things. Yes.
I will wait until I see it in action. Killing Ottomans doesn't count.
Will that be all?
That will be all, Smith. Thank you.
Very well. And the smith will turn and leave.
Smith, bring bang, bang, bang.
Wait, say that one more time?
Luco, as he's walking away, will say Smith and will bang, bang, bang on the bell.
The smith does not react to you calling out their name until the first ding is made. And then the smith will turn around and approach and say, "How may I help you?"
I don't possess a way of carrying your deity harming blade comfortably. Do you have either a sheath that will fit it or a hook to catch the crossguard like its owner held?
Yes.
Is it free?
First-time customers do not pay.
I will make one.
Will that be all?
Yes. Thank you.
This is not the first time that you've said thank you, but the smith doesn't respond. And they simply turn and leave.
Luca leaves with the giant black falchion over one shoulder and the Ever Arbor mist axe tossed in her left hand up in the air, allowing it to spin several times before catching it.
Nice. Excuse me. All right. Let's see, what time is it? You know what? Why don't we call this a perfect time for a little break? Let's do 15 minutes. Previous experience says 10 is not enough. So we'll come back at 9 p.m. Eastern. Is that okay with everyone?
Should be good.
Right on. Give me one
Should be
second
good.
to
Twice my
pause the
lap.
stream. And we're live. Thank you all for waiting patiently while we had our little intermission. And let's pick right back up as we had our intermission a little later than we usually do. We return now to Doraad. You are now finishing your convention of the Council of Doraads. Doraad number 30.
I knew I'd see it my way.
Doraad number 37 really held up the court for a long time with his antics, but eventually they saw the error in
They saw a
their ways.
reason. yes, as I tend to do. I'm always right.
And your senses slowly start coming back to you, and you slowly start realizing that the Council of Doraads was brought on by the small log that you ingested.
You ate it?
Yeah, I ate it. Is when he comes to, there is a standing mirror in there. Doraad goes and appropriates himself in a manner fitting himself. And then he'll leave. Yeah.
While you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you have relaxed, and as such, your skin is back to normal at the moment.
Normal at the moment. Oh. He'll pause actually for a second and just kind of look at his pale white skin with just very little features. Nothing discerning, just very plain, almost like a mask, with just cold eyes. And then he'll just kind of start rubbing, and like as he does, he just starts rubbing on this face of Doraad, and then he'll pull it all down, and then he's back to himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then fluff his collar, make himself look all good. And then he will go ahead and leave, assuming it has been his long rest time and he feels as though it has been. He would go ahead and get out of there.
You will exit and see several of your compatriots in your living room, as well as a ottoman that has now been reduced into two smaller ottomans.
I invite you into my home, and you break the furniture. Who broke my furniture?
Kensu will pay for it.
Kensu. I don't.
It is being covered.
Do I clock everyone's shiny new toys?
Oh, yeah.
Lucas. Rage.
What'd you say, Greg?
I said, this isn't their tavern. I'm not covering damages here.
Oh, I will stop breaking things.
Oh, thank you, Luca. Kensu, your arm? What happened?
Oh,
You're sleeping?
His arm used
Yeah, I'm in. I
Kensu would be
haven't
sleeping.
well,
I'm in the room.
this is technically
Okay.
this is technically after your long rest, as Doraad would have been tripping that entire time.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
shit.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay.
So this is like in the morning. Doraad's the last one to come back out into the living room.
I am always late. Late to the fucking party every fucking time.
You know that Quincy's arm used to be fake.
Yes, it still is fake. You lost it a long time ago.
Now it looks
No, but
real.
now
And And then I'll look. You're Kensu. What? And as I slowly clock
Everything.
everyone's stuff,
Uh-huh.
like the Smith is here. Where is he here? Did you just wake up to these things?
Luca
And I'll
points
start.
with her new fancy axe and says across the street.
I
Thane
like
can
your axe, Luca.
Thane can tell you. She throws it at you, and it disappears in midair, and then it appears in her hand again. I have the new move for my routine. It will terrify people.
It absolutely does terrify me. Okay, I don't cower like a little bitch.
None of you have seen my show.
I
It will
think I
be good
broke
when
mine
you do.
already.
You were kind of doing it when we walked up on you, right? Or no, we
No.
didn't. No, we didn't see you do your show. No, we didn't. You're right. Uh, and then I, school kid, school kid's running out the door, looking for Thane to show me the way. I was told Thane, where do I need to go?
Right there. He's pointing at it.
I think I broke mine already.
Ooh, we'll get back to that. I need to go see.
Even
then it
D.
kind of.
Smith has flukes.
These flutes?
Flukes.
Yeah, I'll go into the Smith. I'll just turn and like the conversation is going nowhere. Doraad is interested in being, and I'm just gonna run with flutes and flutes. I'm like, all right, I'm gone. I'm out.
Doraad, as you walk into the shop, it is exactly as the last time you were in here. And there's a pile of rags on the chair behind the counter, and there is a single service bell.
Pause. Doraad pauses for just a moment, and like thinks back to what he's asked, which was just a way to save her. Something that was it something that will save her, or a way to save her?
I believe it was a way to save her.
A way to save her. Yeah, it's just thinking about it and just thinking like, fuck, could I have been any more vague? and, and then he'll walk up to the counter and he'll hit the bell and then just look at the pile of rags in anticipation.
The pile of rags, almost sensing your anticipation, begin to animate back to life and moves their way in front of you and says, "How may I help you?"
I believe something I requested might be here and ready for me.
That is correct. Would you like me to fetch it for you now?
If you would be so kind. Thank you.
Very well. They will reach down under the counter and pull out a box. And then set it down. And what you see is very strange. The box is made out of cherry blossom bark. And it immediately reminds you that your very first time meeting her was at a local park in Dendris where there is a single cherry blossom tree. And the ribbon that this box is tied with is void weave. And as you reach out and feel it, you feel an overwhelming sensation of compassion, having been the essence of the emotion itself being the catalyst that was stored into the void weave rather than a simple magical effect.
Reach for the ribbon carefully and just slowly pull it. And then I'll open the box. And carefully.
As you open the box, there is a small pillow made out of void weave. Very soft to the touch, and lying in the center of this pillow are a pair of earrings. Very simple and very modest. Compared to everything that you've seen of the Smiths, this is the least extravagant. You can tell that the craftsmanship itself is, of course, without peer. But the style itself is very form over function. But at the same time, there is a beauty in its simplicity.
Yes.
Hmm?
So there usually is.
Yes, there is. And the smith will say, will that be all?
Can I ask you to tell me about these?
My creations are for the individual, which means they are not the same to me as they would be to you. So only you can tell you its true purpose.
Are they for me? Or are they for her?
That is for you to understand.
Thank you, Smith. And I will take the pair of I will reach in and grab the pair of earrings.
Once you touch them, a strange sensation begins to wash over your right hand, but you feel nothing in your left. The one in your right almost sings to you, almost calls out to you, I belong to Doraad, and the other is silent.
I'll make sure that I'm not getting anything from that left one. And I'll put it back down in the pillow ever so softly. And then I will close the box back up. And I'll wrap it. And then I will then fasten this earring into my ear, taking out the pre-existing stud.
As you fasten it to your ear, you feel three things all at once. The first is that this earring contains the same feeling that the Voidweave ribbon did. The second thing is that whatever effect is happening to you as you put it on feels incomplete. And the second thing you feel is the feeling of a soft pillow made of void weave against the side of your left face.
That's interesting.
Oh, shit, dude. Sorry, that was good.
Hold back.
Sorry, that was good. Rod will. I assume Smith has sat down at this point.
The smith is still at the counter. The last thing they said was, "Will that be all?" And all you have said is "thank you."
After this sensation washes over him, and he can, come back. Quite, quite excellent craftsmanship, Smith. That will be all. Thank you.
Very well. And for a brief moment, the smith lingers. It's so short of a time before they turn and leave, but it's just enough that you notice. And they leave out the back door.
Doraad will break down for a minute. And then yeah, he'll get back all gussied up again, and then he'll head on back out with everybody back to the safe house. And well, that was quite interesting. Yeah. So Thane, did you come up with an idea for what we should do? Did anyone's items glean insight as to how we can better prepare ourselves for our journey?
Roll insight on Doraad.
Yeah.
If I can tell that he's been crying.
I mean, that's going to be a 28.
No.
I cannot physically beat that.
Doraad, ever a master of disguise, can even disguise his feelings in this moment.
To make sure I'm doing it correctly, Zeke, with God's End, the falchion is what I'm calling it because I'm a 3.5 grognard. I get half my proficiency bonus round down with it.
Correct. Yeah. Well, just half proficiency, but yeah, the standard is round down unless stated otherwise.
Yes. And it does 2d12 plus strength.
Mm-hmm.
2d4 plus 4 to hit someone with the cross guard.
You do not add your strength modifier to the bonus action attack.
What if I have 2-weapon fighting style initiate?
You know, I'll allow that. Yeah, 100%. 100%. So yeah, you can add your strength modifier to the bonus action attack as well.
And what I'm calling the Axe of Eber Arbor. That is a hand axe, a d6 plus 4.
The stats of all of your items I will write to you after today's session and give you all.
That's a good point. That doesn't really make for good television. Yes.
Whew. Whew. Yes. Doraad, you would, at this point, receive a sending.
Oh.
And it says simply, moment.
I think Nadia, while all this is happening, is just sort of watching Doraad with her head tilted slightly to the side.
Able to know that something's going on, but can't quite insight exactly what. I get it.
Feeling dealing, I say.
Yeah. So, Doraad, the sending is, hey, this is the Talon.
Who's it from?
The Talon.
The Talon?
Mhm.
Okay.
As a professional courtesy, since you and I go way back, empty your nearest dead drop or a nearest safe house if you can get to one. Good luck.
Empty it?
That's what you get in the sending.
Okay.
Well, it's a good thing we used all the Ottomans you had.
Hmm. All right, gang. Yeah, about that. You guys, we need to go. We need to leave now. Again. I have on good authority we should leave.
Zane's getting up and going out the door.
Yeah. Take
Yeah.
take everything you can carry from the storeroom, food, wine, whatever's in there, and then Doraad will go and grab however many of whatever of his best whiskeys that he has, and just like
Do
weigh
you
like grab like 2 of them.
do you empty out your sacks of coin? Like, do you take the safe house's money as well?
Oh yeah, anything that's value, obviously, anything that's barterable, obviously. Um, sentiment. I don't know. There's probably nothing very sentimental in here except for like. No, there wouldn't be anything sentimental, but he would want his good liquor.
Okay. Good liquor, some food, supplies, and bags of coin. At least those that were
Any
stored at this particular place.
Friend
any
Doraad.
information. We'll say any information with about me or other locations that I have. All of it's torched.
Okay.
Actually, they know it comes with me. I don't burn it. I keep it with me. I take that, and I don't want that out of my sight. You were saying, Ross.
When you take you like I can imagine Doraad going to his shelf, contemplating the different brands, contemplating the different years, and selecting his best bottle of whiskey. And then Luca comes in with her messenger bag and just starts emptying bottles into it because having a barbarian is the next best thing to a bag of holding.
That's right. As you're doing that, I'll reach over and grab one of the ones that was just like flying out and be like, yeah, I'll take that one.
And
Oh,
tons of food.
all of it.
She really does loot your safe house.
That's perfect. Loot it. Whatever we get out of it, we get out of it. Because I was told to empty it.
Right.
So if we don't take it, someone else will. Yes, dear.
I have a question to ask you, but it seems like the kind of question that you might be cross with me if I ask it in front of other people.
Then don't.
Does message allow for a return?
Yeah.
Oh, message. Good.
Does
Is
it?
now the time to be asking it, or should we wait until we're
Well,
safe?
I want to ask.
Okay.
I want
I'm
to.
sure it makes for great television, so go right ahead.
Well, does message have return or no?
Yes, it does.
Well, then Doraad will not stop what he's doing and say aloud, Nadia, this isn't really quite the time. And then I'll just message you, make it quick.
Well, this is a question I've wondered about for a long time, but you seem like you might be in a position to answer it.
Go on.
What is it about mothers of children that make men perform all sorts of heroics? Mothers of their children, I mean.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Is Mip the woman you want to save? And is she the mother of your child? And is your child the boy?
Can't threaten you with physical harm.
I'm not threatening you with anything.
No. And Doraad will stop what he's doing, and he'll look dead the fuck at you. And in message, I can't threaten you with physical harm. No one says that name or speaks of the boy. And how you know is beyond me. I cannot stress this enough. And he'll like glint in just a little bit. Please don't. And then like he'll soften. Just don't.
You didn't answer my question.
I don't have the answer to your question.
Father doesn't either. Did the
Most
same
fathers
thing.
have many answers. Most fathers have many answers. Just the wrong questions are asked.
He did the same
And then
thing.
with that, what did he do?
To save her. All sorts of heroics. Didn't work.
Heroics rarely work. And I doubt my attempts will. But we have to try.
For him, it just left him bitter with a child he didn't want, but maybe for you it'll work better.
One
Wait,
can hope, child.
we're heroes?
This is in message.
This is over message.
Sorry, I thought it was a good one-liner.
It was.
No, it was. It was good.
Luca just intercept message. We're heroes.
This is. I'm gonna grab that little tin can you've got and yell in it real.
The boy looked like her, like you.
I don't know what the boy looks like.
I'm watching outside.
Kind if he looks like her.
What's
Can't
that?
help
Hmm.
it. Kind.
I've never seen the boy, and as I said, I don't want to talk about him or her. We need to focus, and I'll end message on that, and then aloud.
I can say we all did see Nadia and Doraad stare at each other for like 17 seconds straight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Get
Just
a room, you
stuff
two,
down.
please.
It's just weird emotions going on faces and no words. Just
Nadia just kind of blinks and smiles, very cat-like.
fucking gonna kill me.
And then-
Okay.
Turns and flounces out of the room.
As
All right.
the party, having emptied Doraad's safe house, begins making their way out of the city, and several hours having been passed, and it is still noon outside, you begin to make your way toward the city gates. And as you reach the edge of city gates, you find that it is now early morning. And I think a sense of trepidation and perhaps purpose fills the thoughts and minds of this group as you begin your journey toward the nearest of the three villages that were mentioned in Kensu's report. And I think this is a perfect spot for us to call it for this evening.
Oh boy.
Yes, Greg.
Before we leave the town, one, is it still the 16th or is it now the 17th?
So essentially what happened is exactly as Thane called it. The city fast forwarded, and it's now paused until the rest of the world catches up. So it's noon inside, but early morning outside, but the same day.
So the 16th. Okay.
We're still-
Before we
So
leave,
it is the day after the night at the tavern. So
okay.
Just like teleported into the future and waited for the past to catch up.
exactly.
Are we still streaming?
We are indeed. We'll go ahead and say goodbye for now, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, as long as anything doesn't happen to stop us, like any crazy accidents or anything that's been going on, we will be meeting back at 6:30 p.m. Eastern next Thursday. And with that, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Take care.